Manager Erik Ten Hag could be without up to 6 players for Manchester United's trip to St Mary's to face Southampton on Saturday lunchtime. United will resume their campaign with the ambition of getting back to winning ways after suffering successive defeats prior to the international break. After losing 2-1 to Brighton and Hove Albion in their first away game of the season, the Reds were beaten 3-0 by Liverpool at Old Trafford last time out. It means Ten Hag and his players are already under a huge degree of pressure to get back on track this weekend. On paper, it strikes as being a golden opportunity to get 3 points on the board, with Southampton having lost each of their first 3 league games. Ahead of the long trip south, United will be hoping to get at least 2 significant boosts on the injury front. Both Luke Shaw and Rasmus Højlund, neither of whom have featured so far this season, could be in contention to feature in some capacity. Shaw, who has not played for United since February, missed United's opening 3 Premier run. League matches with a calf problem. Issuing an update on him just 3 days before their curtain raiser against Fulham, United said he was working hard on his rehabilitation, with a view to being available after the first international break. It is unlikely Shaw, even if he has made progress in recent weeks, will be thrown straight into the starting 11, but the possibility of him making the bench would give United a much-needed boost. Diogo Dalot has deputised at left-back in Shaw's absence so far this term. Højlund, of course, suffered a hamstring injury in United's opening game of their pre-season tour of the United States in July, and was expected to be sidelined for around 6 weeks. He has since been back on the grass at Carrington, and Ten Hag, speaking ahead of the defeat to Liverpool, refused to rule out the prospect of him returning at St Mary's, but was coy on his chances of featuring at the same time. Ten Hag said, "We have to see how it develops, how he can progress during the international break, to get match fit. He returned on the training pitch, but it will take a while before he is up. Everyone has seen the injury happens in the first game of the pre-season tour, so he needs also to build some fitness." Centre-back Victor Lindelof is another player who is yet to feature so far this season. He's been unavailable ever since injuring his toe in United's final game of pre-season against Liverpool. Among the players who are doubts for the game is centre-back Raphael Varane, who picked up a knock in the recent match against Arsenal. Varane, who has been a pivotal figure in United's defence, is facing a race against time to recover. His absence would leave a significant gap, with Ten Hag potentially turning to either Victor Lindelof or Harry Maguire to fill the void. Adding to the defensive woes, Luke Shaw, another critical player in the backline, remains sidelined with a muscle injury. Shaw's offensive capabilities from the left flank and his chemistry with the forwards will be sorely missed. Tyrell Malacia could step in, but he lacks the experience and consistency that Shaw brings. Further up the field, midfielder Mason Mount, who joined from Chelsea in the summer, is also struggling with fitness. Mount has yet to find his rhythm at Old Trafford, and his potential absence will be a setback for United's midfield creativity. Christian Eriksen, who has been working his way back into the starting kick-pun, might get the nod in Mount's absence. In the attack, winger Antony could be unavailable as well. The Brazilian international has been facing fitness issues and hasn't been at his best this season. His pace and flair down the right have added a dynamic element to United's play. But with his potential absence, Ten Hag might have to rely on Jadon Sancho or even Facundo Pellistri for width. Adding to the attacking woes, Anthony Martial is another player who might not feature. Martial has had a stop-start season due to injuries and fitness concerns. His absence could mean more responsibility for Rasmus Højlund, who scored his first goal for the club against Arsenal, but is still adapting to life in the Premier League. Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish has said Eberechi Eze would be a gift to any football club amid Manchester United's interest in his signature. The Manchester Evening News understands Eze is of interest to United ahead of next summer's transfer window. The recruitment of a winger is expected to be a leading objective for the club ahead of the 2025-26 season. Eze, who joined Palace from QPR in 2020, is understood to have a £68 million release clause in his contract that can be reactivated next year. He scored 11 goals and registered 4 assists in 27 Premier League appearances last term and has scored twice in all competitions already this season. Elkenbach, having been one of Palace's most eye-catching performers in recent years, particularly last season, co-owner Parish recently admitted that he was surprised interest in Aids' services was not more forthcoming during the recent transfer window. "I was really worried from a club point of view of losing Michael Olise and Ebbs in the same window," Parish told Sky Sports earlier this month. "We didn't have in Ebbs the interest that I thought we would have. I was astounded, genuinely astounded. I mean, the guy's just an outstanding footballer, an outstanding person. He's a gift to any football club. I don't think any Crystal Palace supported would mind the fact that, at some point, Ebbs wants to play at the highest level. He's playing regularly for England, back in the squad again, which we're so proud about. EBS is still here, and it's great for the football club." I was surprised that that's what happened. Ezer, who stepped off the bench in England's 2-0 win over the Republic of Ireland at the weekend, has made a total of 128 appearances for Palace, scoring 28 goals and registering 17 assists. His contract runs until 2027. Hi Devils, welcome back. Manuel Ugarte will not be the only player Manchester United supporters will hoping to see in the starting lineup at Southampton on Saturday lunchtime. After very harshly being dropped to the substitutes bench for the visit of Liverpool prior to the international break, Ahmad, albeit at 3-0 down, tried to put a more respectable look on the scoreline during his second half cameo appearance. Axed from the starting lineup to make room for Alejandro Garnacho for the first time this season, the Ivorian was lively after being introduced with 69 minutes played, replacing the aforementioned Argentine on the right wing. During his 21 minutes on the pitch, he had 24 touches of the ball, finished the game with a 91% passing accuracy, completing 10 of his 11 attempted passes, produced 2 key passes, and had 8 touches of the ball inside Liverpool's penalty area. His efforts did not change the outcome of the match, but he was able to walk back down the Stretford End tunnel to the dressing room in the knowledge he had tried his best. United supporters certainly recognised that as well. The visit of Liverpool marked the first game this season that Ahmad had failed to start. Manager Erik Ten Hag, ahead of kick-off, cited tactical reasons as the purpose behind his omission. Garnacho started on the right in his absence, meaning Marcus Rashford kept his place on the left. Ten Hag had vigorously defended Rashford in the build-up to the visit of Arne Slot's side, hitting back at Alan Shearer's analysis of the academy graduates' performance at Brighton and Hove Albion the previous weekend. On the back of that, there was never any doubt that Rashford would lose his place, producing lacklustre performances for the bulk of last season, resulting in him scoring just 8 Premier League goals. Supporters' frustrations with Rashford are mounting. Many booed the decision that saw Garnacho hauled off ahead of Rashford in the second half last weekend. An ever-increasing number of United fans now want to see Ahmad and Garnacho occupy the 2 wide positions from the start of matches. Garnacho has scored one and created one so far this season, while Ahmad, who shone in pre-season, was on the score sheet at Brighton and was crowned the club's Player of the Month for August. Ahmad, who excelled on loan at Sunderland in 2022-23, has registered more touches inside the opposition's penalty area, 12 than any other United player so far this season. He has also registered more final third carries, 8, and box entries 7 than any other member of the squad. On that evidence, it should be impossible for Ten Hag to overlook the winger at St Mary's this weekend. He is a threat every time he gets in and around the penalty area. He is also displaying a sense of confidence when he is on the ball in dangerous areas. On the flip side, Rashford is not offering a regular threat inside the final third. He has not scored or assisted so far this season, making him the only winger who has started for United so far this term yet to do so. Once Rasmus Højlund is back from his hamstring injury, which could be as soon as this weekend, Ten Hag needs to work out his preferred front 3 and attempt to stick with it. He has deployed 2 different attacking combinations so far this season, and neither of them have carried what you would describe as a consistent threat as a collective. But deploying an attack consisting of a recognised number 9 and 2 young and hungry wingers has the potential to excite. Ahmad and Garnacho have been United's best performing wingers over the last few months and both deserve to start ahead of Rashford. If Højlund soon returns, the prospect of him being deployed sandwiched between Ahmad and Garnacho up front will result in United's fans licking their lips. It is the attack almost all of them are begging to see.